Hello and welcome to episode 64 of the Movie Bros podcast. We are your hosts with the most. We are Duncan. We are Hayden. We talk movies. We're brothers. That's what this is. You found it. You made it. Welcome, welcome. Yep.
Welcome back, everyone. If you're a returning listener, if you've just found us, the name is in the title, and it's entirely descriptive of what it is.
So, as brothers who talk movies, we cover all kinds of genres, all kinds of eras, all kinds of quality. If you are trying to have us discuss anything specific, I'd say obviously reach out via our DMs on Instagram, comment sections on YouTube or Spotify. Otherwise, we're just going to keep on plugging away on whatever we choose to watch. And with that being said, Hayden, what did we watch this week and what are we talking about?
Well, this week we are talking about friendship, not just the concept, but the movie. This came out last year in 2024. It is written and directed by Andrew DeYoung. I quickly looked him up through IMDb. He's done a lot of episodes of television, but that's kind of it.
This is his directorial debut, yes.
Yeah. Music here is by Keegan DeWitt, also another name I did not recognize. Cinematography is Andy Rydzuski, another name again. It's an A24 thing, so it's a lot of indie people. So I'm assuming many of the crew here might be their first project. This stars Tim Robinson of I Think You Should Leave notoriety, the ever ageless Paul Rudd, Kate Mara, and Jack Grazier.
I didn't realize Kate Mara was in this, like, until we watched it.
Well, I remember her from the trailers.
Oh, for some reason, I only remember Paul Rudd and Tim Robinson. I don't remember her.
Well, to be
at
fair,
all.
she's there very briefly, but
Yeah.
well, where would we like to start on this film?
Well, I should preface it that this was something that I suggested we watch, and before going in and watching it and afterwards, I was like, man, I bet Hayden and I are going to have pretty much polar opposite views on this. And if that's the case,
Maybe.
great. If not, that's okay too. Why don't we... Here, let's count down from 3 to 0, and on 0, we see our ratings to see how different we are.
Okay.
Well, I mean, gotta have something to make it a little more interesting. I don't know. Right. Ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1.
1.5.
Whoa, oh my god, I was gonna say 4. Oh my god.
You said 4?
Oh, dude, I had such
Did
a
we
blast
watch
with
a
this.
different movie?
I enjoyed this so much.
I mean, I could be pushed to maybe a 2.
Well, and actually, with that in mind, I was looking at different like ratings, like IGN, Letterboxd, IMDb, and this sits in the middle. And it's not one of those like, oh, most people thought it was okay. It is one of those like, there's a ton of 5s and 4s, and there's a ton of 1 and 2s.
Yeah, I can imagine because it was crap.
No, dude, this was so funny. Oh my god, I was laughing throughout this.
You genuinely were like audibly laughing while you were watching
Yes,
this?
yes,
We
100%.
have such different tastes in comedy.
Well, that's why. So, folks, literally, like, I think either is during the movie or after the movie, I immediately texted Hayden being like, "I think you're gonna hate this movie," because I was like, "Oh, I loved this, and I know this is so not your comedy, but I'm
So
glad
just
you watched. I'm glad you
I'm
watched it."
I'm probably going to repeat this in a couple different phrases and different ways throughout the review here, but
Uh huh.
I don't like comedy that is derived from social awkwardness and nothing else.
Well,
And
there's
that
some of
is again, there are like maybe one or two other different kinds of jokes here, but that is like 90% of the movie.
well, okay, so I would say some of it, yes, is like uncomfortable, awkward, funny, but a lot of it is just uh I would say if you haven't seen I Think You Should Leave, this is gonna be pretty out there for you. Like, it's almost like a required pre-watch in
See,
some way.
I have seen I Think You Should Leave, and I think where I Think You Should Leave differs is that the situations and the the bits that's going on are actively more wacky and strange, And
Are you saying this is, like, too grounded in realism?
in some ways, yeah.
Well, that's why I thought it wasn't just a like, yeah, it is definitely a comedy, but, like, the
Is
actual,
it
like,
though?
oh, dude, I mean,
See, because
uh
that's one of my main takeaways is that okay, this is definitely sold to you as a comedy, but if you didn't know that, I would absolutely see this in the same kind of genre as something like American Beauty, where it's like a man's life dissolving over a bunch of poor decisions. It's kind of similar to that. I wouldn't say it's like ha ha funny. There are definitely like
well,
amusing moments,
again,
but that's
because I
kind
I
of
think
it.
it I think it depends on your sense of, like, humor. Because yeah, I thought basically from start to finish, yeah, there are some serious beats that are undertones, I find, but the thing that stood out, like, this was a comedy to me, 100%. Like, you can't say that he's like, "Dude, don't pop him. You look like you're gonna," like, when he's talking about the toad, that's comedy, dude. That whole it's not, "Oh,
That
he's
was
checking
such
out
a
at Subway."
pointless, wasted scene. A completely pointless, wasted scene that takes like 15 minutes of him's like, "Hey, my wife's leaving me for his ex for her
For
ex-boyfriend
Devin.
firefighter, and I've just been fired, and my one friend that I thought that I had is like socially ostracizing me. I'm gonna blow all my money and lick a frog's ass."
That was a big lick. Oh, dude, the if you're the honestly, almost as funny as, again, this is just my own personal
Oh,
preference.
T-Dog?
No, you mean Jimp? You mean Jump with an I? Uh,
That's so stupid.
again, that sounds, I don't know, it's just
But again,
that
it's just like but that quote unquote joke is like one sentence long and then it never comes back around to it.
yeah, sometimes it's just little throwaway nonsense. It's, again,
But
most of this
that's like the
movie is
whole
nonsense.
movie.
Yes, and sometimes that's okay.
So
I
for me, I would say the whole
Uh-huh.
movie is not nonsense. I actually
No, I'm
like
saying the
once
little
I
things, like the little throwaway stuff. Yes, that is nonsense, but not the whole movie. Sorry, keep going.
doesn't matter. Why don't you so if you were to try to convince me that this is like an hour and 45 minutes of laughter, how would you
Mhm.
sell it to me?
I would say a real story about, like, adult loneliness and friendship masked by, like, absurdist comedy is how I would probably frame this as.
So, in your mind, this was absurdist comedy?
I mean, a lot of the I mean, to a certain degree, Tim Robinson, yes, that was a lot of his stuff was pretty absurd, Hayden.
I don't think so. I think a lot of the humor was very grounded and almost too like too much of like an undertone and too like I don't know how else to describe it. Like okay, so there's the whole bit of
Dude, the garage scene with the drum set? Come on. That's absurdist.
I it's not though. Absurdist means you wouldn't find this in reality.
Hayden, you would not find this in reality.
Outside of the frog butt licking, you can do all of this in reality. I don't think this classifies as absurdist to me.
I guess I see absurdist as, you can find it in reality, but it is so far clearly away from the norm of reality. Like, so much of this stuff, like, I mean, obviously the toad butt licking, but, uh, the, like, screaming match that he gets into with the guy in the garage, like, yes, that could technically happen, but that's not going to happen. The, like,
Why not?
cheering,
Well, I
the
just
no, go ahead.
I was cutting you off. Go right ahead, Duncan.
When, Kate Mara is giving the toast and then he immediately cuts her off and goes, like, wildly off on his own thing. Again, that's not normal. That's not even, like, I don't know, that's not normal.
I see that to me didn't be like, oh, haha, that's funny. That means like, oh, this guy's an asshole and I don't like him. That's that. I mean, genuinely, that was my impression of quote unquote Craig. Pretty much the whole movie is that he's kind of a douchebag who cares only about himself, is obsessed with his own opinions, and pushes away everyone around him to the point where he doesn't have a social life. And so when he's offered the chance to have one with his new neighbor, Austin, I think, Austin? Dusty?
Yes.
Paul
Yes,
Rudd.
Austin.
and like he totally doesn't know how to communicate, and he fucks it up in the garage, and he's being antisocial. He then completely kind of spirals off the deep end for a little bit because he doesn't because he just lost his connection to the social contract, if you will, of friendship that he's never had before. I think that makes for a much more interesting drama than just conversational comedy, I guess.
Okay, then let me maybe rephrase it as this. Would you sell this movie as not a comedy, but actual like a more of a serious, dramatic
Well,
look
see, that's
of
no.
adult male friendship?
No, because it's I think why I was most frustrated watching this is that it doesn't really commit to either end, right? Like it doesn't
Eh,
really want to be like super into the dramatic like oh this is how this guy is dealing with isolationism and like emotional stuntedness, if you will. I don't think that's a word, but you know what I mean. It doesn't really want to like go into that because it keeps trying to undercut it with like just uncomfortable, weird, awkward humor. But then it also never wants to focus so much on the humor that the humor becomes like laugh out loud funny, at least to me. So I don't know if I would recommend it as like, oh, this is a good drama. I don't know if I recommend it as, oh, this is a good comedy. It's it's incredibly middle of the road for me and doesn't come
wait,
across as anything.
if you said middle of the road and then you gave it a 1.5, that's bonkers, Hayden.
Right. So like as in middle of the road, as in it doesn't have a strong identity.
Okay, okay. For a second, I was like, dude, what the
Like
fuck?
no, no, no. I
What is
still
this
had
grading
a
scale?
like I genuinely I was just bored. Like for it to be an absurdist comedy, I would want like more crazy wacky hijinks, and none of that really happens. It almost happens with Kate Mara like getting lost in the sewer. That could have become a really funny bit, but then she comes back, she's dirty, and like it's just never mentioned again. She's completely fine. There's no other jokes to be told about it. She just shows back up.
What do you mean?
Like,
They did the whole jokes about her like a welcome home party, all of that.
well, right, but like that there's once that whole section of her being lost is over, they don't really make any other like actual jokes about it. They immediately move on to the next thing of, oh, let's have a really awkward party.
Uh, Pretty sure they did because she got back and he had sat down next to her and complained about something again. Uh, there is I mean, it's a small scene, but there is a scene between when they
Yeah,
find
I
her
know.
and like
He sits down, he's like, "Oh, hey, did you get this one tea? It's really good." And then she says, "Oh, hey, my mother left her like uh narcissistic husband, but it didn't take her until she was like 60.
yes,
I don't want to do
no, no,
that."
no, no, no.
And so it's
There's
incredibly
I'm
like
saying
implied that they're
getting a
divorcing.
divorce. No, no, there was a scene that's after the party. There's a scene before the party. Uh, I can't remember. Like it's just again, it's clearly just showing like how detached from her world he is, and vice versa. I can't remember the exact wording.
You know, it's like and then there's like the bit where to try and recapture the exciting like social magic he felt walking around with Paul Rudd's character when they were like grabbing
Going to
mushrooms
mushrooms,
and
yes.
stuff.
Oh,
Right.
dude, that
And
was
like
so funny.
he eats the mushroom, he throws up, there's no other jokes about it. It's
It doesn't
completely forgotten about within 5 minutes.
not well, okay. I guess maybe okay. Let me ask you this: when you're looking for, do you want the rest of the movie to be about him eating that mushroom? I don't. I don't want. I want to understand
No, I how do I describe this?
because I'm like I don't know how long this joke is supposed to go on. What do you mean?
I'm not saying I want the joke to go on forever. I want them to actually tell a joke.
Okay, what do you mean by tell a joke?
There are plenty of like vaguely humorous situations that he gets into, but there's never any like humorous outcomes from them, I guess. Like, yes, it is amusing that he picks a poison mushroom and that he throws up, but there's never any like humorous outcomes from that. It doesn't impact him
That is
later.
the humorous. What do you mean? That isn't that the humorous outcome? That he picked the wrong one, then
I
he throws up.
I guess to me it wasn't.
Okay. Well, again, I knew that like we no matter what either of us do, we're probably not gonna. I mean, that's just we're gonna have different opinions, and that's okay. Uh, if you had to change this to quote unquote improve it, what would you do?
I'd take out all the attempts at humor because I think like if you want to make a small indie drama about a guy trying to learn how to be social when he's 40, I think that's a really interesting idea. I think that's a really interesting concept, and they lay a lot of groundwork for that to happen, but then choose to go off in other directions. I would have preferred it to do that. I think it'd be a lot more interesting, kind of like a low budget American Beauty, like I said earlier.
Well, is there's a movie? I think it stars. He looks like Walking Phoenix, but he's not Walking Phoenix. Oh god, it's gonna bug me. It's the guy from Men in Black 3. I think it's like a serious man. It's it's similar stuff about him. Literally,
Men in Black 3.
yeah, he's the like alien dude who can kind of see the future or whatever. He was in
Oh,
Call Me by Your Name. He might have been in Oppenheimer. Do you know who I'm talking
I
about?
know who you mean.
I can
Yeah.
envision his face. I have no idea what his
Yeah,
name
it's
is, but
called. I think it is called A Serious Man. It's not quite the same thing, but I can see where you draw the line. I think.
okay.
I mean, I would say, kind of like the King of Staten Island. I think it's an also kind of a
Well,
similar concept.
actually, I mean, I screenshotted 2 pages worth of reviews on Letterboxd that I sent to you, and some of them are honestly really funny, but, one of them that actually caught my eye and I didn't even think of it is, this is if Tim Robinson tried to make Banshees of Inisherin.
I
Does
don't
that
see that at
compute?
all.
What?
I I
It's adult friends where one doesn't wanna be friends with the other person anymore and one guy can't handle it.
I I don't see that at all. And looking through some of these reviews now, it just kind of solidifies my opinion that people on Letterbox really want to be funny and they don't want to actually review things.
Oh, come on, Hayden, you gotta lighten up a little. Like, reviews don't have to be like
Reviews don't have to review the movie. You're right.
you can review a movie however you want to review it, Hayden. There isn't not like requirements. There's no rubric. There's no rules for that. If
You're right.
those rules that are in you,
I should respect the review that says Tim Robinson Yowie Nosebleed.
I mean, obviously that's not really the one I was looking at, but okay.
I don't know. I guess for me this movie didn't land, but clearly you really liked it. You said a 4 out of 5, so please heap the praise upon me. Explain to me why you liked it.
Uh, All the and again, this is where you may not agree with this, and that's okay. Uh, all the little bits throughout the movie, like I generally like the him talking about how he doesn't want any spoilers for the Marvel movie, and there's a new one that's supposed to be like that's funny. That's a real conversation that people have had, but now that it's I don't know gotten to the point with Marvel where like it's now a bit that you can do about them. They're again, I think it's because I had the prior experience of watching and liking. I think you should leave that it actually hit more for me than obviously others. Um,
Well, I mean,
the
so
wild
I
bit. Hold on,
also
I'm not done, Hayden.
sorry, go
The
right ahead.
the wild bit of like we should still be in Afghanistan. Like, dude, what the fuck? Um, I don't know, little thing like even the throwaway stuff of Jimp and T Boy. Yes, it's dumb. Yes, it doesn't really add anything. It takes either. I mean, I think Jimp was about 30 seconds. The frog bit of "Don't pop him." Come on, it's it's ridiculous. I found it enjoyable. It was the right amount of escapism, at least for me. Uh, I liked that Paul Rudd played kind of the straight man. Uh, Idealist of a like 40-year-old of like, oh, this is what a cool 40-year-old is Paul Rudd as a weatherman. I was absolutely not expecting him to be wearing a toupee, which I kind of liked that in the
Okay,
end.
genuinely, that is the only time I laughed during the movie is when he gets his toupees knocked off. That part was funny.
That's it. Oh my god. Okay.
Yes.
Maybe a side question: when like if you're looking for a comedy, like what's your favorite comedy, Hayden? Like any comedy. Favorite
Favorite
comedy? Because
comedy?
no, just because your humor is
Um,
so different than mine. I'm curious, like, if what you would like, "Oh, this is really funny to me," kind of thing. Like, what's something
I
that's
don't
really funny to
know.
you?
I can't think. Let me think about it, and I'll get back to you.
Okay, no, it's because that would I feel like this opens up a lot of like, oh, like if this is a comedy for me, we should do like I want to watch something that you're like, this is fucking hilarious. So yes, think about it. Think about it. Okay. What else to say? What do you and I feel like you maybe know. I don't know where I know him from, but the son
He played
vaguely
one of the kids
familiar.
in It.
Okay. Well, granted, I haven't seen. I mean, I think I've only seen it and it part two once because I was like, I'm good. I don't need to watch more scary things. That's fine. Is he in
I
anything? I
own
feel
both of
like I
them. I think they're
recognize him
great.
from. No, no, they're good.
Um,
I see why they're good,
Jack
but I don't
Grazier.
feel like I know him from something else. I don't know.
I mean, maybe I don't know.
I don't know. Either way, what else? I liked in the end that like he sort of like redeemed himself in Paul Rudd's eyes by like distracting everyone while he put his toupee back on. And while he sits in the cop car and he imagines how that first night should have gone. And then he's like back to reality and he looks at Paul Rudd and Paul Rudd actually like smiles and winks at him. Like, come on, that's a nice moment.
I right, but in the context of he robbed him, broke into his house, and threatened to shoot them with his own gun. Why are they having a nice moment? That doesn't make any sense.
What do you mean? Because he just saved him from like the public embarrassment of the toupee, and that was like a very
I
clearly a deep, strong thing for Paul Rudd. Like, this is our
I
secret,
mean, okay. So
right?
I think that because the comedy didn't land very well for me, I got into the mindset of I need to view this as a drama. So moments like that don't make a lot of sense of, oh, this guy just broke into my house and then held us up at gunpoint, but I'm going to wink at him like I'm his friend. To me that doesn't make any sense.
I think it was the yes, all this shit happened, and we realized that you're clearly pretty fucked up, but like in that small moment, you still did like the good thing, kind of deal. Is how I saw it.
Okay? And just having to Google around, Zach Zach Jack Grazier is in both of the Shazam movies.
Oh, okay,
I mean, there's
all right.
literally nothing else.
Like,
So,
that must be it. Okay, because I'm like, I definitely know this kid from somewhere. All right.
yeah. So, you mentioned that you were saying that, oh, you like the comedy in this because you really liked I Think You Should Leave. I
Well,
also watched I Think You Should Leave. I
mhm.
found the comedy funny there, but I think the difference is that those are like contained like 40-minute bits. And this
Well, no, they're
is
not even
nearly
40-minute bits
2
because
hours.
there's a ton of little bits within each episode. So really, like
Well,
the
right,
scenes
exactly.
are only
So
like 5 minutes.
I think that Tim Robinson's like style of comedy for me works a lot better in short form. I think once you string it out to like nearly 2 hours, it really drags on me. So I do like that kind of comedy, but I don't know if I like it for this long.
Well, I guess. I mean, I honestly, I totally get that. Um, and I think that's why I think you should leave was so successful and so popular because he really got to kind of do whatever he wanted all over
Well,
the
yeah.
place.
Well,
Um,
it's like I went to go see a comedian live that I had seen in like
who did
short
you
little
go see?
clips.
Who? Because now again, because I'm trying to figure out your comedy. Who did you go see live?
Well, let me finish the anecdote first. I thought the
Okay.
clips were funny. I went to go
Mm.
see this guy live, and it was weird and awkward, and he was bombing really badly. The audience was not responding to most of the jokes. I was like, this is maybe me, one of those situations of don't meet your quote unquote heroes, even though I wouldn't consider this guy to be a hero of mine. But like, I think it's the same idea of something that works well in like a 5 minute or like a 15-second clip, as it were, doesn't work as well as like a 2 hours of stand up.
Who did you go
And
see?
the comedian is Jeff Dye. I want to say I saw him last year.
Name sounds vaguely familiar.
He unfortunately got wrapped up in politics this year, and I don't think it's as interesting as some of his other stuff. But at the time, I'm like, okay, he has some funny jokes about Seattle and things like that. I'm like, okay, that'll be great. It was
Hmm.
not as good as I thought it was going to be. So I think it's a similar situation of I like Tim Robinson's stuff, and I think you should leave. I don't know if I like it here.
Well, I guess, again, I honestly totally get that. I guess for this, I'm like, okay, at least it's I don't have to like do a complete reset every 5 minutes to a new scene and a new thing. It's more of a oh, like we can build on this, and
Sure,
we
I
can still
mean
sprinkle in stuff.
there's pluses and minuses to both for sure. I will say I think the movie was shot really well. I really like a lot of the like kind of hazy, misty color photography.
Hmm.
I thought it looked nice, but I think it's kind of a given at A24. Like even if the movie isn't good, it'll look good.
Yeah, but I mean, a lot again. The sounds like, especially the director, if not everyone else on the crew, like this might have been first like an actual film
Yeah.
that they've made. And I thought it was crazy that Tim Robinson did not write this.
That
But
was
it's
also weird.
yeah, because I was like, this clearly seems so him. But it sounds like
Well,
the
maybe
director
it would
and the
have
writer
been
wrote it
better.
for him.
Maybe it would have been better if he had a hand in the writing. I mean, I don't know.
I'm
I
ready
also
for
thought
Friendship Part
the
Two. I don't know.
I'm not. I I did think it was weird how like melancholy and sad all the music was when it
Mm-hmm.
wanted me to laugh. Like I get that there are like obviously it was on purpose. They didn't do it on accident, but I think it held me back from like finding it comedic when it's playing sad electronic music. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that does make sense. Let's see what else.
Would you recommend this to anybody?
Absolutely would, but I would ask them, okay, have you seen I Think You Should Leave? What are your thoughts? And if they say,
That's
oh,
fair.
it's not for me, I'm like, okay, then this may not be for you, and that's okay. But if they're like, oh, if it was good or I loved them, like, okay, if you like that, this is more or less that on a larger scale.
Yeah, I don't know if I would recommend it just because it didn't land as well for me, obviously. I did have the thought watching it of like, when does it take place? Because it feels like the 90s, but everyone has cell phones.
Nah, I was thinking like 2007 or something like that.
That would make more sense because they were talking about SEAL Team 6 and eating a bunch of food.
Oh yeah, so actually, okay, that means it's after
Like
uh
2011, something like that.
yeah, I was about to say, I was like, so that's like
2012.
2010. Yeah, okay. That's a good question because yeah, I hadn't thought of that either. And that bit wasn't funny. Okay, I'm just tracking
I don't know.
him trying to
I
eat
was
like
I was I was
20,000 calories. Come on, man.
like again that sounds funny in concept, but just the way they deliver that whole bit is just flatlines for me. It's like it's the comedic example of static.
Yeah, I guess that's just gonna be it's, it's one of those like, oh, I like The Office. I don't think you like The Office.
I I respect The Office more than I like it, I feel. Because I really like Parks and Rec more because
Parks and
comparatively
Rec,
I think that's a little
sure.
bit I think it's a little bit actually
Don't
that's a
say
great
better.
example. So Parks and Rec is not as grounded as
Well,
The
it's also
Office is.
not
The Office is a
the
lot more conversational. It's a lot more like just, coworker banter back and forth. Parks and Rec is a lot more, oh, we're going to go on location. We're going to do zany, wacky stuff. And so
well, Parks and Rec also. Oh, sorry. Keep going.
I feel like that's more my comedy style, I think, is you can have some of the back and forth in the dialogue, but I want it to carry over into like the vibe of the world, I guess, that I'm watching.
Sure, yeah, because again, Parks and Rec doesn't. I mean, I think they tried it in the first season of doing like the
Oh,
like,
oh yeah.
but
And the first
obviously,
season's bad.
well, it just
And then
didn't
they
work for
change
that
writing
concept.
styles. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that's actually a great example of our different like humor sensibilities of
Hmm.
you are definitely more Office and I'm definitely
It's
more Parks and Rec.
weird because I like. I mean, I've watched Parks and Rec through all the way. I think twice, and like I like it. I don't find it that funny. I find it enjoyable. I don't find it
Oh,
that funny.
I find it very funny, but I in the same
Hmm.
way of like I've watched through all of The Office and like I like some of the characters. I think there are definitely humorous bits. I don't know if I would say it's all that funny though. I think it's kind of the, opposite opposite of you, I guess, obviously. On that tangent though, What's your opinion on The Paper?
I would
Like
say I have.
even as even as like a concept.
Oh, I have no problem with the concept, and like the showrunner Greg Daniels,
Mhm.
like and several of the cast that I actually recognize. Some of them are no names, which I actually kind of like.
Mhm.
Um,
Donald Gleason is a good actor,
yes,
so
no, I like him, and they brought back Oscar from The Office. No, I have no problem. I mean, granted, I have not seen any of it, and I'm at the point where I've just kind of generally moved on beyond like quote unquote like standard TV ish episodes.
yeah. I
Yeah,
I actually think that it is w- we, and I say we as like culturally, I think we've moved on from workplace procedural humor.
well, especially since COVID, I mean, the workplace has
Yeah.
become non-existent, or at least less prevalent.
And just going back to a newspaper, something that pretty which I get that the whole concept is, hey, no one reads newspapers, how to revitalize this newspaper? But like again, your audience doesn't read newspapers. I don't know who this is for.
Yeah, I was thinking about that too because like, uh, well, I mean, actually, when you think about it, when you put it next to like The Office, that was at a time where like paper companies were like becoming basically obsolete, and they address it in the show.
Oh yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't. I want to say I don't care, but like I don't care. It's just outside of my radar
I
now.
yeah, I don't either.
Like all I wish them the best because again, I like the creative side and the talent side, but like it's just, I'm good.
Did you ever watch The Good Place? The other Jeff Daniels thing?
I
Because
I
I
started.
I I really liked it.
I know, and like I know a lot of people who really liked it, and I started to get into it, and I don't know what it is about the guy from Cheers, uh,
Oh yeah,
Ted Danson. I can't do it.
Ted Danson is okay. He is,
No,
and
just
it's a
like
weird
as
thing to say. He is kind of the weakest point of that show.
well, sure, yes, and so, for some reason, also in my brain, Kristen Bell, whatever her name is, she's like
Mhm.
she's too perfect of a person. Like she doesn't seem like a real person.
Gee, explain that?
I don't know how to explain it. Like either
Are you
on
saying
screen
that
or
she's
off.
like a lizard person in a skin suit or something? I'm not sure what you mean.
Well, she looks like she not looks like I don't know. Like she just gives me vibe of like at some point like her batteries are gonna fall out or something.
Okay, I've never thought that.
But on the other side, the Asian guy,
Manny something. I can't
yes,
remember his
who
last name,
he
but
has
yes.
recently started to actually get into other things. He was in Freakier Friday. He was the main bad guy and was honestly fucking awesome in The Acolyte, which I'm bummed that they didn't make more, but I do kind of get it. But honestly, he was fucking awesome in that. Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't get into it.
That's fair. Not that like, oh, it's a hard concept to understand. No, I'm gonna like. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying it is kind of out there as far as like sitcoms go.
I don't know. Like I think it was end of either season one or maybe I think it might have been the end of the first season when she's like, "Oh, this isn't actually the good place" or whatever. And I'm like, "All right, could have called that a couple of like I don't know."
I mean, we're supposed to know it before them.
Well, no, I
That's
guess what I'm saying is like again, we're getting way off on a ramble, but that's okay.
we
Uh,
do that here.
yes, that's literally what we post every week. But um, the show never really surprised me. It wasn't like interesting. Like it was, yeah, it
Okay.
was fun. I think that's also maybe the reason why because I didn't find Parks and Rec funny. Like it was fun to watch, but I wouldn't find it funny. But it wasn't like that interesting because I feel like if it's a workplace comedy, if you don't like the comedy, all you're left with is this is just a workplace.
And that's kind of how I feel about The Office.
And that's totally fine. That's what I'm saying. Like, oh, if the comedy doesn't work, if it's that thing plus a place, you just yeah. So that's
Yeah.
why I think this may obviously either worked for me and didn't work for you because, well, uh, if this comedy, which is a lot of this movie, is trying to be a comedy, and I think it works, and if you don't think it works, then the movie's not obviously going to work. So, uh,
Yeah.
yeah, I did look up because I was curious the ocean dining view or whatever the brand that Tim
Oh,
Robinson. Was not a brand, but now that this is becoming a thing, I thought I saw something where like it's actually going to be a like brand of clothing where you can at least buy the pants that he's always complaining that he's getting stuff on.
Can't wait to buy canvas brown everything with no other identifying features.
Yes, plus the like
Who is
massive
going to
brown.
pay money for that?
uh, Hey, someone would pay money for like a soap mermaid from the lighthouse. So I mean,
I I know I got it for you as a
I
gift
that's what
once.
I'm saying. I'm saying like if you like people will buy stuff, Hayden. People like things.
Wait, you're telling me people will buy things?
Capitalism?
What?
Yeah, the bane of our existence. Yeah. Anywho,
Well, clearly we didn't see eye to eye on friendship.
but literally, me and Emily were like legit laughing on the couch, thinking about how you were gonna be watching this because we're like, oh no, like oh boy, Hayden's gonna have a time with this. And she was like, dude, if there's ever an episode that I want to listen to, this is gonna be the one. I'm like, well, yep, that's it's coming.
I fear she may be disappointed as I'm not like angry at her or anything. I'm just it just nothing worked for me. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, no, and I don't know. I feel like maybe we're too civil and we need to be more explosive. But sometimes I also don't want to just be yelling at someone or getting
Well,
yelled at. So
I remember our first couple episodes back when we were like sitting in our parents' front room recording on one mic. I think you really wanted it to be more of like an argument based show
well,
because it was definitely hey, let's needle each other while we talk about movies. And I was not fucking having that.
I think it was more like, oh, uh, if we have a different opinion, that's okay. But I want to be able to like, I can't remember like the wording, but like, I don't want us having to like placate ourselves just to have this be like like I want if you have a strong opinion, either pro or con, like you should be able to voice that strong opinion.
Sure.
That's all. I'm not trying to be like fuck you, Aiden. But
I
and
mean,
did I say that in
off
the
off
Tim
tangent
Robinson
here.
fuck? Yes.
No, not really.
You didn't see the reviewers like, oh, what did, hold on, now I've already forgotten. God, never mind. God damn it. Sorry, you were
Okay,
saying?
I don't remember now. Well, that was friendship. Our next question is,
Jesus.
does it bucket? I think that's a resounding no.
Not really. I mean, if you really wanted to do something for it, which I feel like you don't need to, you could do some sort of like his shoe or something that's got the clothing brand thing, or maybe like the golden gun, or yeah, there's not. I mean, if you could open up the back of a frog, I don't know.
I would prefer not to.
That frog totally robbed me. All
Well,
I did
see,
was go to Subway.
well, exactly. What's the point of giving your like if you're making a movie and you're like, hey, we're gonna give him a drug trip? Why would you make the joke? Yeah, but it's completely banal and boring, and he just goes to Subway and he talks to his in real life neighbor, but he's old, and then it's over. Why? Why? That's not that's disappointing. It's not funny.
Well, A, I
They
think it's
they
funny,
they
and B,
they
I
they
think
could have done
it's
so much more with that and done wackier, stranger stuff.
sure they could have. I do get that, but at the same time, I think it lines up with the rest of his life where things don't really work out. Even his like drug trip is underwhelming. Like
Underwhelming is a great way to say it. Yes.
his life, not the movie. All right. Before we get any farther, folks, keep in mind these are our own opinions. This movie is on HBO Max. If you love it or hate it, I'd say you should go watch it and form your own opinions.
Try a couple episodes of I Think You Should Leave First.
Yeah, it would definitely. It's a good prepper, for lack of a better
Because
word.
I actually like that show. So but that is the best test of okay, is this type of humor for me in any way, shape, or form for me?
And what else? What have you watched anything?
Well, I watched The Great Mouse Detective yesterday.
Is
after
that
our
that sounds is
recording
that old animated?
ish.
That sounds familiar.
Yes.
From like the 90s?
No, from like the mid 80s or so. It was a Disney thing before they had really like struck gold with princess branding. So they were trying a lot of different stuff in the same way that they also released a movie called The Black Cauldron, which is almost like a Conan the Barbarian story. And it has a, you know, for an animated movie, a very creepy looking, like, possessed skeleton guy. I don't know. And so I like this one. It's essentially a Sherlock Holmes story told from the perspective of like a mouse.
Do they
Um,
talk?
yeah.
Okay, well, I don't know.
So it's essentially you have Mouse Sherlock Holmes and Mouse Watson living underneath the floorboards of actual Sherlock Holmes and actual Watson. So there's like two different stories going on of like human Holmes and Watson solving a murder and mouse Holmes and Watson going after a like a jewel thief called Radigan, who is a big burly rat guy played by Vincent Price actually. And it's a lot of fun. I think it's got some really gorgeous hand painted backgrounds and some really nice animation. So I would say it's a classic animated film. Other than
Okay.
that though, I don't think I've watched any other movies. I've been trying to make more efforts to finish some more drawings and things because I haven't posted anything in like 2 months. So haven't done that yet, but I do have tickets finally to watch Weapons, but we'll talk about that later.
Good point. Good point. Let's see. I finally got around to watching Thunderbolts,
Oh, what'd you think?
and um, it was both better and worse than I thought it was going to be.
That's
I
fair.
thought I thought all the write I thought a lot of the writing was really not great. Was really surface level. I thought they got to the antagonist way too late in the movie.
There's so much setup in that. Like they spend so much of that movie trapped in the bunker.
Yeah, yeah, no, that it's a basically a write almost a little over 2 hour movie, and you get to the void at a and there's about 28 minutes left. I think I checked the
Yeah.
timestamp. Uh, that being said, some of the stuff with Bob I thought was really cool.
Hmm.
I know they did so. I very much like the character of the Sentry from the comic books, and I was interested how they're going to do this. And yes, they kind of adjusted some of his powers a little bit because in the comics he was mostly just like a Superman esque kind of guy,
Hmm.
but in this he's got a little bit different stuff going on, especially with the Void, which again I actually kind of liked. I don't know if I love the team. I don't know, just the characters they chose to have as this like anti-hero team. I both get it, but at the same time, they are all kind of the same person.
Slightly.
Like, and they killed off Taskmaster in literally like she just didn't even need to be in the movie. She was in the movie for about a
Well,
minute and a half. Like it was, I
that's
thought that was
because
such a
she's
waste.
uh, it is, but also she is such a terrible adaptation of that character.
Well, yes,
I
but
was okay with
again,
it.
I was like, if you're gonna do that, at least like have some sort of like okay, boom, uh, pistol to the head, she's dead. All right, let's move on. Like I don't know. And I thought I was going to like because I'm a big fan of her in Seinfeld, but
Oh,
Julie
Julie
Lee,
Louise
she
Dreyfus.
just wasn't. I didn't like her as a baddie. She wasn't a very like
Hey, she's a
good
baddie.
baddie. I mean,
Genuinely, yes.
genuinely, yes. I mean, not now, to be honest.
I
But
mean,
eh,
speak for yourself.
not for me. But like, no, dude. 90s Elaine Bennis
Oh,
is so attractive.
right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Back on topic.
um, I liked that it was Lewis Pullman. It was going to be Steven Yeun, and I'm glad.
I cannot see that character being Stephen Ewan.
Yeah, that just seems wrong. So I would put this like it's more good than not, but I didn't love it.
Yeah.
And the whole like basically we saved him with friendship. Both make sense because of the character. Yeah, I get it, but at the same time, I'm like, this seems a little.
I mean,
Uh,
I remember watching the trailers with you,
yes.
and like months before it came out, that was our main concern of, oh, okay, we have Superman possessed by the Grim Reaper for all intents and purposes, and you're gonna have to sell us on defeated by the power of friendship.
And I wish I could find the stills from the comic book when they first like show him as a character. I think it was for the New Avengers, and it's like every possible superhero fighting the Void. Uh,
Yeah.
was super fucking cool. Like really, really cool.
Well,
Um,
also they retcon the whole thing of, oh, he's always been here and he just made everyone forget about him. Like, I guess it wouldn't make sense for like MCU continuity, but I thought that was a cool idea. I think they could have worked it in somehow.
yeah, yeah. So there were several parts of this where I'm like, okay, this is cool, but at the same time, I have some issues. But I also, since I was house sitting for the parents and I was using their fancy new TV, I rewatched Pacific Rim. Very fun.
We talked about
Uh,
that last week.
no, we didn't.
We did, because I remember talking about the sequel.
Are you sure?
Yes, but I know last week we both talked about Pacific Rim.
Did we talk about Tintin?
Yes,
Because I mean, today's the 18th. I watched those only 5 days ago, so I mean, it would have been this episode. I don't think we would have been recording last week in time to talk. Like, okay, I
we
guess
did. I
I've
I don't know what else to tell you.
all right. So I guess I've technically only seen Friendship and Thunderbolts, even though I feel like in my brain that's wrong. But I don't know. Uh, yeah, I guess that's all I've
because
watched.
because we had a whole thing about talking about, oh, you could easily just make this into a young Indiana Jones movie, and we talked about how great the music is and stuff.
Did we talk? I think we talked about that off air, though. That's what I'm thinking. Is I think a lot of this we may have
I
talked
don't
about, but we talked about it off air.
think so. You know what? I'm gonna leave all this section in, and we'll find
Yeah,
out.
yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So I watched these at some point, folks. If it's last week and this week, great. If it's this week, I don't give a fuck. My brain is fucking scrambled right now. Um,
And you can hear more about these on Duncan's other podcast, Dunk's Movie Corner.
correct. Which I literally just recorded those movies today because they were this week's
I don't know
movies.
what else to tell you, man.
It's fine. Everything's fine. All right. There's nothing. I feel like there's nothing new that has come out since last week.
Not really. I mean, there's some horror movies, but I know I mentioned them before, both Good Boy and Shelby Oaks. I think that's it.
Yeah. Uh, we will be reviewing, as Hayden kind of
Speaking
alluded
of horror
to
movies,
early.
though,
Yeah. We'll be talking about Weapons, which, if you want to watch it along, I think it's not available anywhere except for theaters right now. You probably
it
could
is
pay for
almost
it.
done out of theaters, though. I was struggling to find a showing that wasn't like at night, and I have things going on at night this weekend, so I think it is just about out of theaters, so it'll be streaming soon, I think.
I was thinking though, like this is kind of a bummer because I watched it basically as like literally like opening weekend,
Yeah.
and I didn't take any notes, obviously. So I'm like,
You wanna watch it again with me?
I don't know if I don't think that's gonna like line up.
Oh,
Uh,
timing, yeah.
yeah, so
Alright.
yeah, we'll see how that conversation goes because I don't know how much I'm gonna remember. I'll be honest, but
Well, I'll jog your memory while we talk about it.
sure, and I might just have the like plot up on Wikipedia or something. But
Sure.
either way, that's coming next week, folks. Obviously, thanks for listening, subscribing, hitting the bell, telling your friends, telling your family, your pets if they listen to you, coworkers, whoever you want to tell about this. Obviously, widespread, mainstream, big budget podcast of ours. Uh,
If
anything
you're
else,
interested
Hayden?
in
Yeah.
hearing, oh, I was just gonna say, you can find Friendship on HBO Max, but we already talked about that, so I think that's probably all of it.
This has been episode 64 of the Movie Bros podcast, and we will see you all next week for Weapons.